the left has become what they say they hate.
Yes.
They have become closed-minded. They have become pro-censorship. They have become, we used to always believe that a free-thinking person, a liberal, I mean, the liberal that I grew up with, what did you do more than anything? You question authority.
Right.
Question authority, especially government authority, right? Now, you better be lockstep in line with everything they say, or they will label you a conspiracy theorist or a QAnon or a Trump supporter or a crazy. There's no questioning. And even in science, it's extended to science, and Rand can speak to this. The very heart of science used to be skepticism. Prove me wrong. I challenge you on this. Now, there's only one answer, and it's what Dr. Fauci says. And if you challenge that, you challenge science itself.
Yeah, and what a perfect segue, because that's what we wanted to talk about for sure. So we're very interested to know what next steps are, because as I understand it, there's emails of Dr. Fauci's that have yet to be released. So what steps are being taken to get those released, and where are you? I know you've been working really hard on this in uncovering more about the origins of COVID. And I don't understand why, but Fauci continues to say, oh, this probably happened naturally from animal to human. Why is he still making that claim?
There's rumors that there's going to be an announcement in the next day or two that there will be a committee investigating this. I've been advocating for a committee that I'm on, the Health Committee, to investigate this. Now, the committee is chaired by Democrats. The Democrats make the decision. But we've been pushing and pushing and pushing, and we think we are going to get a committee hearing on this. We want to bring in the scientists who have examined this. So far, it looks like almost all of the evidence points towards the lab. Now, it's not 100% because no one's going to ever admit the truth. If you did in China, you'd probably be killed or assassinated. And so the truth is that all the evidence leans in that direction, but we'll never completely prove it. But they looked at all the animals in the wet market, and they tested 80,000 animals, and they couldn't find COVID in any of them. That sort of suggests that it didn't come from the wet market. 3 of the workers in the lab who got sick had COVID symptoms in November. That suggested as well. But we also had that the investigation was being performed by Dr. Fauci and this Dr. Daszak, and they were self-interested in this. Even the letter by scientists saying, oh, it's all conspiracy theory, that was organized by Dr. Daszak, who was the lead funder of the lab. So they were all self-interested and all had a conflict of interest. But most of the evidence points towards it coming from the lab now. And the reason this is important, not only to put blame where blame should go, but we're still doing this kind of research. We should not be taking viruses that are 15, 20, 30, 40% mortality and trying to make them more transmissible in humans. It's a death wish. But both Fauci and Daszak are on record as saying that the research is worth it and that even if a pandemic should occur, it's worth it. So really, they have blood on their hands, and they've been advocating for this research, and they've been saying precisely that even if a pandemic occurs, but not everybody agrees with them. There's hundreds of scientists who are not Republican, not conservative. They're just scientists that are worried about this research. There's been a real debate about this for 10 years. So my hope is that we try to prevent this from happening again. We have some of these labs in the US doing this research, and I think we need to have stricter controls over this. We need to have a real discussion whether we should continue to do this kind of research.